All right. Hello, everyone. So excited to have another call with you all. Before we even start this out, I want you guys to know there is a chat feature. So at any time when we are talking, go ahead and use the chat feature, but we will be asking you guys to just share some things about how the last week has gone for you. If you saw yesterday's post that Erin shared, there are questions in there. And so we're going to go over that and just ask you guys how everything is going. But don't be afraid to ask any questions, whether that be in the chat feature or just raise your hand here. Or if you are watching the recording, obviously in the comments below. And so I was going to pull up the questions. I wonder if I still can with it recording here.
Hopefully that would be too.
Okay, what's the first question?
Basically, it's just more or less, have you eaten out yet while you're on the fix? You know,
Okay.
what special occasions do you have coming up that you might be thinking about? If you haven't eaten out yet, have you been to a restaurant? You know, if you have, basically talking through some of the tactics that you have put into place or could be thinking about putting into place as you start to move out of your comfort zone of your house.
Okay, I'll share first, and then Erin, you can, and then we can kind of just piggyback off people. I've had to eat out every Tuesday night. We have church group, and they bring in food. And I am, well, vegetarian, but I still eat fish. And so I guess that you're called a pescatarian or something. I don't care. I just don't eat meat, but I eat fish. And so I go to these things, but I know that they're gonna be serving some sort of chicken or beef or something like that. So I know I'm not gonna have a protein. I will always save my Shakeology for my dinner that night at church. And so I'll always bring my Shakeology with me. And then sometimes they tell us beforehand what they're serving, but a lot of times they don't. So I always I will pack things with me just in case, because I'm such a picky eater, you guys. So if they'll have cooked vegetables, I'm not going to eat that. And so I need to have something with me just in case. So baby carrots are super simple. I'll just bring stuff along for whatever meal that is based on the containers and the time to nutrition for meat. But this last time they even had potatoes, which I was really, really excited for. So I was able to really just, obviously you don't bring your containers with and pile them in there and put it on the plate. People are like, what is she doing? But I was able to just kind of look at the plate and just kind of be like, okay, that's what would fit in a yellow. And normally before these containers, I would just pile literally probably half my plate with potatoes because that'd be one of the only things I was eating. And then they also had a salad, which was really nice. Granted, the dressing wasn't fixate dressing, so I did just even less than what an orange container was of the French, which I'm sure was full of sugar, but I just did best with what I could while I was there. And those are the only two things that I ate because I had my Shakeology for my protein, because that meal I get a protein, a carb, a fruit, I'm sorry, not a fruit, a vegetable, and then the dressing is my last meal of the day usually based on the time nutrition. And so that's what I do. Otherwise, if I do go out to eat at a restaurant, I will look at the menu before I go. I will plan out my meal before I even leave the house, so then I will know what I'm going to eat while I was there. But obviously Erin just traveled, and so she probably has so many days to talk about with this.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, let's be honest, traveling is hard because not only is everything pretty much out of your control, but you start to lose motivation and steam the longer you're away from home. At least I do. So by the last day, by the 9th day I was gone, it was just, my nutrition was awful. Oh my gosh, awful on our ride home because we did a road trip. But you know, there's always something that I learn every time we're out of our house. Whenever we're on a trip, whenever we go somewhere, there's something I always learn, whether that's about a different restaurant that we go to, a different place we order from, a different way we can prep ahead, things like that. Like when we went down there, when we were going on our road trip, you know, we were super prepared. Dave did an awesome job of like cutting up vegetables. We made egg wraps. Like we had everything prepped before we left. And so we felt really good at the beginning of the week. And then as things get more out of your control and as you have less and less time to actually prep things, that's when it gets harder. So my biggest tips for when you're on the go traveling and you know, you don't have as much control is, you know, you got to give yourself grace. You always have to give yourself grace. That's just the name of the game, controlling the controllable and realizing that there's going to be moments that there just aren't going to be a lot of great options, and that's okay. All you can do is your best. So for me, like I'm always thinking about carbohydrates, especially when I'm traveling, because it's nothing but carbs. It's nothing but combos at the gas station, burgers with a bun and fries, you know, extra large Cokes, ice cream, cookies. Like, it's all carbohydrates. It's all processed junk. It's all extra sugars. It's all the carbs that aren't great for you, all the quick carbs. So I'm always thinking about my carbohydrates. How do I pick and choose what's really worth it to me? And so for me on vacation, like, I'm a huge sweet person. So for me, typically I lean most on dessert. Like, I want to be able to indulge in desserts. So there's a lot of times when I will actually strategically think about my day and think about, okay, how do I want to fit this into what's going to feel like a mostly balanced day? So I'll make sure that I really, you know, I drink my Shakeology. I make sure that I always get a vegetable in there. You know, I always make sure that I'm getting a veggie with breakfast. I usually keep it simple, protein, like eggs, veggies, like red pepper, whatever. And then something like a waffle or sweet potatoes if they're available, so things like that. But most of the time, I'm trying to limit my carbs so I can really indulge either at dinner or at a meal when we're going out or a dessert or something like that. So that's been really helpful for me because, like Bridget said, if you're going out or if you're on vacation, there are a lot of times where there's places that are familiar to you that you can go to and order from. Like, we do Chipotle a lot. We do Chick-fil-A a lot. Jimmy John's, we do a lot. And I kind of know when I go there what works within my plan and what I can stick to and what's worth it to me, right? So that's kind of my best tip, is always thinking about the carbohydrates, planning accordingly for your indulgences, working around them. Because at the end of the day, guys, carbs is where we get tripped up. It really is, because we drink alcohol, we like sweets, we like the junky carbs, we eat the processed junk. Like, that's what adds up, and that's what ends up making you feel like garbage when you're on vacation, and then you come home and you're exhausted and you're wondering why you feel so off. Like, it's all because of that overload of carbohydrates. And so for me, like, I felt pretty tired yesterday, but not as bad as I have in the past, and that was because for the most part, for most of the week, I was able to control a lot. Like, we had a kitchen at our place. You know, we prepped what we could. We made most of our dinners. We went out a handful of times. The hardest day was our drive back. But other than that, like, you control the controllable. And so that's kind of my best advice. But the bottom line is, it is 100% not perfect. It is always a learning opportunity for me when we travel.
Has anybody gone out to eat yet in the last few weeks while on the plan? We're all frugal moogles over here. Like, we're frugal. Well, Cassie, we went to Jimmy John's and you did good. Like, why don't you explain what you get there?
There yes, we did go to Jimmy John's on Saturday for Super Weekend. Totally forgot that. Instead of getting the bun, because on my plan I only get 2 yellows, I got the unwich. So I got the lettuce wrap, essentially, is what it is. Which actually was really, really good. And honestly, that was the first time I've had it. But
really?
I knew that I wanted carbs later.
It is really good.
Yeah, that's the first time. But I knew I wanted yellows later in the day for dinner, so I needed to save.
Yep. It's all about planning. And there's another coach and challenger of ours that she even shared on her Insta stories, and what she does is on the menu they'll have, like the healthy options. They'll have little symbols or something to tell you which ones are maybe the healthier options for you. And so that's helpful too. They'll even list the calories maybe, so you'll know what is lower calories, because she'll always ask for a to-go container too right away, because the portions are always bigger than what they need to be. And so she'll pack half of it. This is someone that goes out to eat once a week. And then she'll also save a yellow for dinner because she wants a glass of wine. And so she plans ahead. She's really, really good about that. And so it's just, planning, but also being very mindful as well, and not letting the goodness of it all looking there let it overtake. Because I have found back in the day, I think back in college and everything, Olive Garden, if you think about eating at Olive Garden, you would be like in a food coma after, and just, I remember my pants, I would have to unbutton them because they were so tight. Like, it's like you ate so much pasta. And so that's way more portions than need to be. The unrich is really good. Yes. Very, very good. And then we wanted to do highs and lows from the last week, right, Erin? All right. So highs and lows. Wow, I need to think of it. So I'm just gonna pepper pick somebody. So I'm gonna go as Joanna first. I'm gonna unmute you, okay? There, you're unmuted.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Lows. I mean, I did fairly. My containers, I'm doing very well. Lunches, I'm super proud of myself. And like this week, I have taco salads, and I don't like. I have my lettuce all in containers, but I didn't like the taco meat. I'm weird with my containers because I don't want it to like stain it or anything. So like that, I won't do till like the morning of, but still like knowing what I want to put in there. And I have like do the taco meat, I do my olives and my little container of cheese, and so I'll do all of that in the morning, so at least I know what I'm doing and it's still saving me time there. So that's one thing is that I'm extremely good at, or have gotten a lot better at, and even prepping on Sunday. One thing, I guess a low is dinners. I mean, we have usually like tonight we had ham steaks and a veggie, so it's usually very simple, but that's one thing is I want to incorporate more of like the take back the kitchen, which I haven't not done a lot of. We just do super simple things. It's usually throwing in a veggie and a meat. It's what we do because it's fast and it's quick, and especially when it seems like we don't have a lot of time once we get back. So that's one thing that I do want to get a lot better at is I'm extremely good at prepping my lunches on Sundays, but dinners and we're a huge leftover people. So even if it is just doing 2 meals, because we usually will have leftovers the day after. So that's one thing that I do want to get better at, but I guess progress, not perfection, which I have to remind myself.
Yeah, I think you'll find too, if it's just you two, just making 2 of the Take Back the Kitchen, it'll last you probably all week.
Exactly, which is nice because I'm not, that's one thing I don't like wasting food either, because, again, that's when you're trying to save money, and that's one thing when you have to throw it away, and it's like, oh goodness, especially with fruits and veggies that don't last a long time. So it's like, well, you got to like it and you got to eat it right away, or you're out of luck.
One perk of being frugal. You're like, I got to eat the healthy stuff. All right. Thank you, Joanna.
Yeah.
Lisa, highs and lows from the last week? I unmuted you.
Okay. Probably highs are, I went 2 days without soda. I drink Mountain Dew like every day. And I've actually cut down to like the 7.5 ounce cans, even too. So I went 2 days, I didn't have any soda. And I didn't have a soda today either. So that was probably my highs. Lows are probably dinner time also, because it's just me and my husband, and he doesn't like anything. No veggies, no fruit. So it's usually a meat and a carb for him, and then I usually have vegetables on my own. Trying to get control of dinner time more, and probably at night, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm like wanting a snack, so I'm gonna try to start saving like maybe a fruit through the day to try to have that snack at night to something a little sweeter. That's probably about it.
That's amazing. Good job with the pop. That is so awesome. Oh, good job. All right, Heather, I'm gonna unmute you. There you go. All right, you're unmuted.
My low last week was I had the flu. So I did not eat very well. So I didn't eat a whole lot. If I wanted anything, it was carbs. But so now I'm feeling better and getting back on track, and hopefully this week goes better.
I'm sure it will. I'm so glad you're feeling better though.
Yes, I haven't felt that bad in a long time.
I know,
so
and it's
me
hard.
and my husband and my youngest daughter were all sick. So.
Oh. Well, I guess, I mean, one thing to look at least it was all at the same time and you didn't have like 3 weeks of one person being sick.
Yes.
Glass half full.
Yeah.
All right. Erin.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
So highs from last week. I'm really proud of myself for having my Shakeology with a vegetable and hitting my workout every day on vacation. That was big for me. Like, it's usually not a major problem, but you know, it's just always a good feeling when I know that I can stick to those consistent habits no matter where we are. Like, I'm feeling very proud that I was able to do that. Like, that was definitely a high for me. Low is, you know, as the week went on, like my nutrition just got harder and harder as far as like getting motivated to stay on track. And the hardest part for me, like I said, is controlling carbohydrates and actually getting in vegetables. Like the first 6-7 days were great. The last 2 days, like I just started to lose steam, and then there weren't as many options. And then, you know, we're on the road and there's 2 fast food options and then the gas station snacks. And it's like, when you're not prepared, it's very evident that you're going to fail in some way, or you're going to feel like overwhelmed by all the choices that aren't that great for you. And so, you know, I had a couple moments where I felt a little bit just, I don't know, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but I want to say just kind of bummed that I always learn the hard way, like just the importance of having something prepared and planned. But the reality is vacation is one of those moments where you just can't always have it prepared and planned. So that was kind of my low, but you know, always a learning opportunity and feeling good already back on track. Like we prepped all our Take Back the Kitchen yesterday, like our fridge is stocked, we're on track, we're ready to go this week. And so just, it's always good to get back home and get into your groove.
Awesome. All right, Dana, I'm going to unmute you.
Sure.
There you are, unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'd say the highs for last week, we had takeout Chinese when we got back from in town for dinner because we had nothing in our fridge, and I made that last for 4 meals for me. So I'll take that as a win. That kind of covered my lunches with a salad. So had all the containers covered there. The lows, still kind of struggling with the carbs. I like my carbs. And if anybody lives near like a Jewel, their garlic bread is my like downfall. So we've had that with pasta, but I've at least limited my servings. So I'll take that as a low and a win.
Yeah, well, you're making progress, and it's not about being perfect. So you're taking the steps and being mindful of it, which is huge. And so, right. Awesome job. All right, and then Cassie, I think you might. You're unmuted.
Am I muted? Okay.
Yeah.
High would be I got in my water almost every day last week, so that was really good. A low, and this comes from us being creatures of habit, with me being home and not working and not being in my normal routine of getting up, going to work, coming home. I'm not getting in my containers the way I was when I was working. So I'm doing really bad on veggies and my carbs for this last week. I'm trying to get back on track this week. I'm super excited because I start work on the 22nd again, and then I'll be back into a normal routine.
Awesome. So. And then Jessica, you're here, but I don't think your audio is connected, it says. So if you want to chat in there or comment tomorrow on our post, the highs and lows. And anybody that's watching this recording, if you want to share your highs and lows too, do so in the comments. My highs and lows, I would say, oh gosh, what's a low? Well, we had date night on Friday night, and I came down and Tate had just shut the garage door. I was like, why'd you shut that? I want you to go get ice cream. I'm just craving ice cream. And he's like, thankful for him. He's like, well, why don't we just make homemade ice cream with Shakeology? I was like, well, it's not the same, but okay. And so we did, because saved us money and saved us, I guess, having really bad containers versus, I still went over containers that day, obviously, having that. but it was better for you than going out to Freddy's and getting ice cream. And so, and then my high is like not having donuts at church yesterday, which is always a perk for me. And then also getting in all my veggies. Like I've been very, very intentional about that. So I'm super proud of myself for always getting in my veggies every single day, which is big, big, big for me, being someone that really dislikes them and only eats raw veggies like 5. So variety queen over here. Does anybody have any questions at all? And so just go like this. I'm just kidding. But just let us know if you have any questions. Cassie, do you have one? You look like you're touching something. Okay. Any questions at all about the logbook, about the group, about any videos, anything that Autumn talks about? Even Autumn, you guys talked about today, and if you go to her Instagram and an IGTV, talked about traveling and staying on track while traveling in the containers and all that kind of stuff. So it might be worth it to go check that out. I watched the first clip of it, but did you watch it, Erin? No, okay. But yeah, definitely go check that out if you want to know more about that, if you have any plans to travel anytime soon at all. But otherwise, we are very excited to knock out another week here with you all. And let us know if you have any questions at all. Reach out to us, post it in the group, anything at all. All right, guys? All right, bye-bye.